I know you the same. You and your friends, boom, gossip in every day. But I want every day, sometimes I get this one, I tell you to be positive. Come to my house, you eat and you drink. Go to money, what you got to never me. What did they say in the cannot in the two? I like be everything, I want to do. No, just pass the better we can get you out with. Not keep class, but I didn't get you there. Go, I'm every day, get on the floor, tell them what we do. Activity, something that we would use. Say all day, make sure don't go to jail. But let the money spend, let them lose their play. I'm not there, when chicken say, go, it's all coffee. I'm not there, when chicken say, go, it's all coffee.
Musical. There are crimes in many places, in every community, you can see. So if you see crime and report it, don't take law in your hand for the real authority. That it can't take care of it. Crime Stopper here for us, bringing safety to your door. Whether you rich or you poor, if you see a human talking, I mean you cheche. Do it for your safety. If you see it, don't keep it. You must call to report it. Crime Stopper, the people bringing safety to your door. Crime Stopper, stopping crime and make it peace for them before. Crime Stopper, Liberia, from the center to interior. Crime Stopper, keeping us safe, they're stopping crime for all of us. Crime Stopper, the people bringing safety to your door. Crime Stopper, stopping crime and make it peace for them before. Crime Stopper, Liberia, from the center to interior. Crime Stopper, keeping us safe, they're stopping crime for all of us.
Crime Stopper Liberia is your community crime fighting partner. Don't take the law into your own hands. Remember, if you see a crime, report it. This is a message from your own self, Old Man Sam Cyan.
Crime Stopper, the people bringing safety to your door. Crime Stopper, stopping crime and make it peace for them before. Crime Stopper Liberia, from the center to interior. Crime Stopper, keeping us safe, they're stopping crime for all of us. Crime Stopper, the people bringing safety to your door. Crime Stopper, stopping crime and make it peace for them before. Crime Stopper Liberia, from the center to interior. Crime Stopper, keeping us safe, they're stopping crime for all of us.
Randy, why you taking it?
I said, darling, you look so worried.
Charles, I'm worried because I don't know where to get stuff for my shop and restaurant.
Oh, come on, man. Haven't you heard about Exeter's Best Price store on Gurley Street and Smart Grove Junction on the Old Road?
Oh, no, Charles. Tell me about it.
Exeter's Best Price store got everything for your shop and restaurant. And the good news is that they have reduced the prices of club beer products and imported beverages. So to keep that graduation party, wedding reception, and whatever multiple occasions jumping till the break of dawn. Exodus Best Price Store is that place for you.
Is that all?
No, they have for the first time introduced on the LIB market Buffalo Revive that comes with 4 different flavors: Cool Blue, Apple Kiwi, Full Red, and Fitness Orange. It's good for athlete and everyone. For wholesale and retail supply, call cell number 0770-617-575. Exodus Best Price Store on Garland Street and the Old Road Smart Road Junction. We are your cheaper wholesale and retail store.
Exactly. When you want some more, I provide it. So we start to talk. Come on, so go in deep and deeper. Put it to the Ichiki. Be a living sense in her.
As soon as they pray, when chicken say, Bogoni Oko, it's a gossip. As soon as they pray, when chicken say, Bogoni Oko, it's a fussing. Now every day I tell you this. 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 Soon as they break, they got nothing to say. You and your friends, who gossip in every day. But I want every day I tell you this. Sometimes I think it's fun, I tell you to be positive. You come to my house, what you need, and you drink. Go to money, what you got, say that for me. What did they say? And they got nothing to do. Like the every day I tell you that I want to. No, just.
Good morning, good morning, good morning, and welcome to another fresh edition of the program from the Print News. Today, Monday, the 7th of July. Did I say the 7th? Yes, the 7th of July, and the year stands at 2025. It's good to be here this beautiful and lovely Monday morning in the nation's capital, Monrovia. My name is Wendell Nimne, and I'm here this morning with Esther Dako. Esther, good morning and welcome.
Thank you, Wendell. Good morning to all of you. Good morning to you, Wendell. Good morning to the good people of Liberia. It's good to be here this morning. I was away almost the whole of last week because I wasn't faring too well, but I'm here again, and I'm glad that I'm able to share with you from the very local dailies we have on our decks.
Yeah, I'm telling you, the whole of last week, I was like, is this what? What's going on with Esther?
I'm telling you, up to now, I'm not feeling too okay.
I was thinking, is Bella, how to call it again?
Don't worry. When the time comes, it will be now you go.
I know, right? That's the only thing I can, how I said. Mm-hmm. When you come, when you show it, you're forced to see it.
Definitely.
But folks, it's good to be here this morning after a wonderful weekend with 2 many celebration over the week. We are happy to be back here this morning. Let me say good morning to the folks there at BB Fashion House on Benson Street, Avin, Yabaso, and Beatrice, who say good morning to you. And all of you following us this morning online by your receivers, we want to welcome you to the Monday edition of the program from the Print News. So in our studio this morning, we have the Front Page Africa newspaper and the Daily Observer. So let's begin. But firstly, let's recognize our sponsors: Cram Stopper Liberia, Exodus Best Price Store, and Mayuba and Sons Incorporated. So we're running you through now. Those of you listening, it's time to bring you the stories on the Front Page Africa newspaper. Let's get to the top stories. It says here, unfounded allegations. B Mountain denounces malicious and defamatory claims by Cape Mount Group, calls for government intervention. And another story says, we are sorry. President Bwaka apologizes to civil war victims and pledges national memorial and recommits to criminal accountability. This story is very interesting. Let's see what we can get. Few lines from there. Very interesting story. Okay, so let's get to page 7. Right, this is page 7 has it, but we are on page 7 and we just can't see that story. So let me get to page 8 and see what we can get it there. Where is that story? I'm still trying to make my way, folks. I don't know. Yes, the story is all the way here. And it says, let me take a few lines from here. Very interesting story. Very interesting. It says here, President Joseph Boakai has issued an official apology on behalf of the Liberian nation to every victim of our civil conflict. All right. It says here, more than 2 decades of wait by victims, survivors, and advocates seeking accountability for wartime atrocities. The president apologized on Saturday during a state-sponsored National Healing, Reconciliation, and Unity program at the Ellen Johnson Sirleaf Ministerial Complex for those killed during the wars, the Ebola epidemic and COVID pandemic. It was the climax of what the government said was the first phase of an exercise launched earlier this year to rebury William Richard Tolbert and Samuel Doe, 2 ex-presidents with complex chapters in Liberia's history. By opening a meeting to wrong and offering an apology, Boakai has done what none of his predecessors, Ellen Sirleaf, whom he served as vice president for 12 years, and George Weah, whom he succeeded more than 1 year, 6 months ago, had done. The country's brutal civil wars killed about 250,000 people, millions displaced, and destroyed millions of dollars worth of properties. The state could have done better, but was used as an agency, said Boakai. But we are here now, and we must do everything we can to make sure that it never fails you again. This apology must be followed by action. We are committed to implementing key recommendations of the Truth and Reconciliation Commission. A formal apology from the state is one of dozens recommendations the Commission made in its final 2009 report. The Commission also recommended reburials for all victims of massacres and for certificates of death adorned in the national colors to be issued to the surviving heirs. And so, folks, let's tap you right there and get to the big stories on the front page. It says here, as 5 African heads of state prepare for high-stake White House talks, President Trump pushes trade over aid in renewed African policy framework. Economic pivot. According to a White House official, the event will focus on incredible commercial opportunities, which benefit both the American people and our African partners, marking a key moment in the Trump administration's strategic pivot toward trade and private investment in African affairs. Very good news. Let's see what the story is all about. Let's see what it says here. Let's get to it. It should be somewhere around here. Oh, Lord. All right, so here is the story. Here is it. Okay, it's right here. And it says here President Donald Trump is set to host the heads of state from Gabon, Guinea-Bissau, Liberia, Mauritania, and Senegal at the White House next week for a luncheon aimed at strengthening commercial and security ties between the United States and coastal West and Central Africa. According to a White House official, the event will focus on incredible commercial opportunities, which benefit both the American people and our African partners, marking a key moment in the Trump's administration's strategic pivot toward trade and private investment in African affairs. The luncheon follows recent efforts by Senator Ted Cruz, chairman of the Senate Foreign Relations Subcommittee on Africa and Global Health Policy, who convened a roundtable with ambassadors and representatives from 19 African nations, including Gabon, Mauritania, and Senegal. The forum addressed opportunities in energy and critical mineral partnerships, areas that will likely dominate the White House discussions. The visit underscores a growing emphasis by the Trump administration on leveraging economic engagement rather than development aid as a pathway to peace, security, and prosperity across the continent. For the invited African leaders, it presents a real opportunity to anchor their bilateral ties to the U.S. in tangible commercial outcomes. The invited nations share several key characteristics that align with U.S. strategic interests. Each country is considered vital in effort to curb the southward spread of violent extremism from the Sahel into relatively stable coastal nations. With terrorism impacts high in the neighboring countries like Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso, the U.S. sees Gabon, Guinea-Bissau, Liberia, Mauritania, and Senegal as a critical partners in containing extremism. Additionally, none of the 5 countries are currently cited by the U.S. government for unfair trade practices or lack of reciprocity, which has been a sticking point in broader U.S. trade policy under President Trump. Still, differences exist. Why most of the countries maintain diplomatic ties with Israel, Mauritania does not. There is also variation in defense spending. Liberia's military expenditures stood at just 0.7% of the GDP in 2024, while Mauritania spent 2.2%, suggesting differing capacities for independent military operations. But we'll leave it right there. You grab a copy of the front page, Africa, and follow the rest of the stories. Let's take our final story and then we send controls to Esther. And this story will do. Staunch Trump backer raises red flag, says this word is not too clear. It says deep state undermining U.S. Liberia's interests, pushing on proving Avino/SP real deal. Uncle Sam's quagmire. In her post, Laura Lowell, okay, let me start from this side. Avino Atlantic, like many U.S. companies operating in foreign jurisdictions, has commercial advocacy status under U.S. guidelines and appropriately supported by the U.S. Embassy. Notwithstanding, no U.S. embassy staff or U.S. government official was ever a party to negotiations with the government of Liberia. Management Avino Atlantic. In her post, Laura Loomer tagged top Trump allies, including Secretary of State Marcos Rubio and Senator Ted Cruz, calling attention to what she described as an alarming effort by a pro-China deep state within the U.S. State Department to pressure the Liberian government into granting HPX access to the rail line, effectively replacing ArcelorMittal as operator. And we're taking few lines from there, and that will do. I will find a story. Okay, so let's take few lines from there. Let's get to few lines from that story. Okay, it says here, folks, you have to bear with me a little. Let me just make some adjustment with this paper. Yeah, okay, I'm set. It says as U.S. President, Donald Trump intensifies efforts to curb China's global influence through tariff and tough rhetoric. A storm is brewing over a controversial rail deal in Liberia involving Avino Atlantic, formerly HPX. The deal, critics claim, is being pushed by elements within the U.S. State Department in a manner that contradicts American strategic interests, potentially handling influence over critical mineral routes to Chinese-linked entities. One of Trump's outspoken allies, Laura Loomer, took to social media to raise the alarms, tagging high-profile Republican figures, including Secretary of State Marcus Rubio and Senator Ted Cruz. Loomer reposted an investigative article by the Floridian headline, Trump's Golden Age at Risk. Pro-China deep state in state deep accused of undermining America's interests. CCP-backed firms could sabotage U.S. supply chains. The article claims that some U.S. State Department officials are pressuring the Liberian government to approve a rail concession that will remove ArcelorMittal as operator of the Yekipa to Buchanan Railway and grant access to Avino Atlantic, a newly rebranded company with reported links to Chinese firms. Avino responds to pressure claims. In response to inquiries from Front Page Africa, Avino Atlantic denied any inappropriate involvement by U.S. officials. Avino Atlantic, like many U.S. companies operating in foreign jurisdictions, has commercial advocacy status under U.S. guidelines and is appropriately supported by the U.S. Embassy. Notwithstanding, no U.S. Embassy staff or U.S. government official was ever a party to negotiations with the government of Liberia, the company said in a statement. Controversy shift in strategic. Rather than investing in new infrastructure, Avino is accused of pivoting its strategy toward gaining access to ArcelorMittal's existing, fully operational railway and asset to the Luxembourg-based steel giant has invested over $800 million to construct and modernize. According to a report, ArcelorMittal currently employs about 3,200 Americans across Alabama, Ohio, and Texas, and has spent $100 million in U.S.-made equipment for its Liberian operations in the past year alone. By contrast, Avino, which operates primarily in Guinea, has made no comparable investment in Liberian infrastructure. The company's efforts to link Guinean mines to Liberian rail and ports aim existing Chinese railway and port access deals in Guinea have raised alarms in both Monrovia and Washington. Critics say if Avino gains control of Liberia's railway, it could provide Chinese-backed firms access to strategic Atlantic ports, further expanding China's reach across West Africa. where it already holds mining strongholds in Guinea and the Democratic Republic of Congo, DRC. Avino is also a joint ventures with Chinese mining companies in the DRC. In many ways, Avino interests and Chinese interests are one and the same, said a U.S. official familiar with the situation. Confusion and secret deal signing in Monrovia. In Liberia, the situation has been marked by confusion and secrecy. On Saturday, July 5, despite being a non-working day, the government of Liberia announced plans to sign the concession and access agreement with Avino and invited media to the ceremony at the National Investment Commission. However, upon arrival, reporters were barred from entering the building and told to wait. After several hours, official Vasily informed the press that no signing would take place. The same scene repeated on Sunday, again with no media access. Through reports emerged that the deal was signed behind closed doors. But Esther will stop here and then send controls to you to bring us more development. We've already done with this.
Yeah.
Okay, so this would do, and that would do.
Of
Thank
course.
you.
Thank you very much, Wendell. We want to use this time to encourage all of you to continue playing the cash give the Win Liberia cash giveaway is important. We have reduced the amount you're going to be using to play. Instead of you using $100, you're going to now be using 50 Liberian dollars. So keep your transactions coming in. As soon as we get off the discussions, we will definitely do the draw. And so if you want to be one of our winners, you have to be playing while we are on this break. Do not wait for us to come back from the break and then I have to encourage you again.
And
So,
and just to add up,
keep playing.
the good thing about the Win Liberia cash giveaway, we are different, and we told you that when we come back, we're gonna do it bigger than ever before.
Right.
So before you used to play with 100 Liberian dollars or 70 cents US.
Mhm.
So now we have dropped it big time. Can
Big
you
time.
imagine on a Monday you're playing with 50 Liberian dollars
Yeah.
or 25 cents US,
Mhm.
and then you stand a chance to win 4K, 5K, up to 10K.
Exactly.
So can you imagine you're taking $200 and playing, or you're taking $500 to play, or even $1,000 to play?
Mhm.
Because if I want to win money, I got $1,000 on my phone. I'll play it
Of course.
because I know I'll win 3,000. I win 4. That's a lot of profit for me.
$4,000. That's
So,
the least.
yeah. So you'll grab your phone right now and just keep playing. At the end of the day, trust me, you're gonna see what's gonna happen. Back to you, Esther.
Results. All right. This morning on my decks, I have the Daily Observer, and we have lots of stories here. A couple of them Wendell brought, but we will just read the caption of the ones he brought and move on. And the top story here on the Daily Observer, July 7, Monday, 2025, it says government Ivanhoe Atlantic signed landmark rail access deal agreement awaits president's submission for legislative review. This is what Wendell brought. Let's look up more stories this morning. Liberia's first modern radiotherapy center in sight. IAEA government breaks ground for facility at JFK Hospital. Well, now this is good news, and we want to take some lines from here. It says Liberia took a historical step forward in its fight against cancer with the groundbreaking ceremony for the country's first national radiotherapy center to be constructed at the John F. Kennedy Medical Center in Monrovia. The milestone event was graced by the presence of President Joseph Newman Barker Sr. and Director General of the International Atomic Energy Agency, Rafael Marino Grossi. The state-of-the-art facility, once completed, will provide life-saving radiotherapy, services to thousands of Liberians and position the country as a regional hub for cancer care in the Mano River Union. IEA DG Grossi emphasized the significance of the occasion, describing it as a symbol of hope and healing. Today is a really good day because we have started something that will certainly change the lives of many. Rosie said this initiative is part of the IAEA's Race of Hope program, which aims to close the global gap in cancer care for expanding access in radiotherapy. He announced the donation of Liberia's first uh, mammography on unit through the IEA support, which will enable the screening of up to 100 women daily for early detection of breast cancer. He outlined a phased approach that includes mammography, bachelography, and eventually full radiotherapy treatment. Let's leave you here and look at more stories this morning on the front page of the Daily Observer. This says government takes blame for Liberia's atrocities as Bouaka apologizes to nation over the death of 250,000 Liberians and other victims. President Joseph Boakai has issued a formal apology on behalf of the state for the atrocities and suffering inflicted upon Liberians and others endured during the country's two brutal civil wars, a move that represents a notable drive in the country's prolonged journey towards reconciliation. President Boakai expressed rumors for the honors that that occurred between the horrors rather that occurred between the 1989 and 2003, a period marred by extreme violence and resulted. Christian got a completion of the story. Let's run that. And resulted in an estimated 250,000 uh, fatalities and lasting trauma throughout the nation. The conflicts were characterized by massacres, sexual violence, amputations, and the recruitment of child soldiers. Speaking at a national reconciliation ceremony at the Ellen Johnson Sirleaf Ministerial Complex on Saturday, July 5, President Bouaka offered a sincere apology to all victims of the civil conflict, acknowledging the profound pain and devastation experienced by individuals and families affected by the wars. Ladies and gentlemen, as your president and as a fellow Liberian, today on this historic occasion, I offer a formal apology on behalf of the state, Bouaka declared, to every victim of our civil conflict, to every dream shattered. We say we are sorry. President Bouaka acknowledged the shortcomings of the Liberian state during the period of conflict amid. Okay, and so we're gonna leave you there and look at more. LSCC imposes travel ban on key officials amid corruption probes.
Hmm.
This is here and it's on page 3. We are
Very
interested.
interesting story.
Let's know who they are. It says LSCC imposes travel ban in a sweeping move aimed at preserving the integrity of ongoing investigations. The Liberian Anti-Corruption Commission has requested the Liberian Immigration Service to immediately place a temporary travel restriction on more than 20 high-profile individuals linked to alleged acts of corruption and financial misconduct. In a formal letter dated July 1, 2025, addressed to List Commissioner General Elijah F. Rufus, LSCC Executive Chairperson Alexandra Coleman Zoe stated that the Commission is advancing several high priority investigations and is on the verge of preparing indictments against individuals involved. To safeguard the integrity of these proceedings and prevent fight from jurisdiction, Zoe wrote, we respectfully request the assistance of the Liberia Immigration Service in temporarily restricting the departure of the individuals listed from the Republic of Liberia. Among those named in the request are former senior officials of the Liberia Telecommunications Authority, and the Liberia Refugee Repatriation and Resettlement Commission, the National Oil Company of Liberia, and key actors in the Gwapalu Yellow Machine project. The LACC has asked that they be flagged at all official border points, airports, and seaports. Those barred from traveling include former LTA official Abdullah Kamara, former CEO of Taman Corporation, Edwina Zakwa, former chairperson, Marie G. Harrison, former chairperson, Israel M. Akisaya, former commissioner, Avan G. Brown, as Evan G. Brown, former commissioner, and Honorable Zotawan R. Titus, former commissioner at the LRRC. The Travel Restriction Affairs Executive Director Patrick T. Wazi, Aliyu Fofana, Director of Monitoring and Evaluation, Controller Joseph Weah, and Geraldine Kohler, Director of the Humanitarian Department. At NOCAR, the individuals listed include the Chief Executive Officer, Rostalin Swakoko Dennis, Comptroller, that's Richmond Jala, and Edmund K. Masakwe, IT Technician at the Ministry of Transport. In relation to the Gwapalu Yellow Machine case, the LSCC has flagged Gwapalu County Superintendent Sam Zegzinan, Omaru Sharif, Chief Executive Officer of the City Lion Incorporated, Honorable J. Kinya Sar, Superintendent of the Gwapalu Project Management Committee, Anthony Yorker, as Fiscal Superintendent of the GPMC, and Robert Bendart, Chairman of the GPMC. In addition to the Immigration Service, the letter was copied to several top-level national security institutions, including the national security institutions, including the Ministry of Justice and Attorney General, the Director General of the National Security Agency, the Inspector General of the Liberia National Police, and the Executive Director of the Financial Intelligence Agency. Though emphasized the importance of interagency collaboration in addressing systematic corruption. The other CC underscores the vital importance of interagency cooperation in all collective efforts to combat corruption and uphold the rule of law, she stated. While the LACC did not disclose details of the investigations, sources close to the matter indicate that the affected individuals may face charges ranging from embezzlement and abuse of public office to procurement fraud and gross mismanagement of public resources. This is good, Manel, and I'm so enjoying this. Let's bring you to the back page now of the Daily Observer. At the back page, Lofa Elder Council igniting family feud is a question as council dismisses cultural inspector replaces him with sibling amid conflict over Wahasa district parliamentary appointment. Okay, and then finally for the back page, Simeon Freeman re-echoes need for shorter elective terms. We had a referendum, but of course, let's take some lines. Simeon Freeman re-echoes need for shorter elective terms, says this will help promote accountability, good governance. The political leader of the Movement for Progressive Change, Simeon Freeman, is advocating for the reduction of elective terms for the president, senators, and representatives to 4 years each. Kim, during a keynote speech at the commencement ceremony of Fifth University over the weekend, has sparked renewed national discourse on governance, accountability, and the urgent need for systematic change in Liberia. Freeman urged that shortening the term of the office for elected officials will not only make them more forced and results driven, but will also curb the misuse of public resources. When officials know they have only 4 years, they won't waste time. Freeman asserted they will understand that there's no time to steal or mismanage state resources. Instead, they will be under pressure to deliver real results or risk being voted out quickly. Currently, Liberian presidents and senators serve 6-year terms, while representatives serve for the same duration. Freeman believes this extended time in office often creates complacency and a sense of invincibility among officials, leading to widespread corruption and a lack of urgency in addressing the needs of the people. 6 years gave them too much time to do the wrong things before they even think about doing the right. He said, but with 4 years, officials must hit the ground running if the electorate makes a mistake in choosing their leaders. That mistake can be corrected sooner rather than later. To institutionalize this vision, Freeman proposed that the national referendum be held, allowing Liberians to decide whether they to want a more argued and responsive government structure. Many countries across the sub-region have already moved to 4 year terms. Why should Liberia be any indifferent? Freeman questioned we must align our democratic framework with regional best practices and prioritize the will and welfare of the Liberian people. His remarks come amid a growing national appetite for political reform, fueled with widespread concerns over the government's accountability, slow development, and corruption. Observer says Freeman's proposal could become a rallying point for civil society groups and reform minded politicians who are pushing for a more transparent and efficient governance model. If passed through referendum, the proposed changes could dramatically shift Liberian political landscape, allowing citizens to exercise their democratic voice more frequently and hold elected officials to a higher standard of performance. As the country braces for deeper debate in the coming months, Simon Freeman's call for reform is gaining tra- traction, positioning him as one of the leading voices for a new era of accountability leadership in Liberia. Well, so far, I think these are all of the stories we have from the Daily Observer. Lesson controls back to you.
Thank you very much, Esther Daku, for bringing us the Daily Observer. Before we go for our usual break, how many more days to the Enough is Enough protests? Today is the 7th, right? And 10 more days to the Enough is Enough protests. I don't know, but 10 more days from now. But let's recap those stories we brought you this morning, and then we'll take our break. When we come back, we'll talk the talk. These are the top stories on the front page of Front Page Africa newspaper. It says, unfounded allegations, B Mountain denounces malicious and defamatory claims by Cape Mount Group, calls for government intervention. Another story says, we are sorry. President Waka apologizes to Civil War victims and pledges national memorial and recommits to criminal accountability. And then another story is gaining momentum. Stand allies from Stand. Stand and allies inform government of 3-day Enough is Enough protest, demand justice and good governance. And the big story says, as 5 African heads of state prepare for high stakes White House talks, President Trump pushes trade over it in renewed African policy framework, economic pivot. According to a White House official, the event will focus on incredible commercial opportunities, which benefit both the American people and our African partners, making a key moment in the Trump administration's strategic pivot toward trade and private investment in African affairs. And then lastly, staunch Trump backup raises red flag, says deep state undermining U.S. Liberia's interests, pushing on proving Avino and HPX real deal. Uncle Sam's quagmire. Avino Atlantic, like many U.S. companies operating in foreign jurisdictions, has commercial advocacy status under U.S. guidelines and appropriately supported by the U.S. Embassy. Notwithstanding, no U.S. Embassy staff or U.S. government official was ever a party to negotiations with the government of Liberia, management of Avino Atlantic says. And that does it for the front page African newspaper. Let's run to the Daily Observer that was brought to us by Esther. Government and Avino Atlantic sign landmark rare assets deal. Agreement awaits president's submission for legislative review. And another story here says Liberia's first moving radiotherapy center in sight. IAEA and government break ground for facility at JFK Hospital. And another story says government takes blame for Liberia's atrocities as Bouaka apologizes to nation over the death of over 250,000 Liberians and other victims. And then lastly, for the front page of the Daily Observer newspaper, LACC imposes travel ban on key officials amid corruption probes. To the back page, Lofa Elder Council igniting family feud is a question mark to this caption as council dismisses cultural inspector and replaces him with sibling amid conflict over Wahasa District Paramount Chief appointment. And then lastly, Simeon Freeman re-echoes need for shorter elective terms, says this could help promote accountability and good governance. Let's take word from our sponsor, folks. When we come back, we'll be talking about, the president's apology to the war victims. So let's take our break and be back.
Randy, why you taking?
I said, darling, you look so worried.
Charles, I'm worried because I don't know where to get stuff for my shop and restaurant.
Oh, come on, man. Haven't you heard about Exeter's Best Price store on Gurley Street and Smart Grove Junction on the Old Road?
Oh, no, Charles. Tell me about it.
Exeter's Best Price store got everything for your shop and restaurant. And the good news is that they have reduced the prices of club beer products and imported beverages. So to keep that graduation party, wedding reception, and whatever occasion jumping till the break of dawn, Exeter's Best Price store is that place for you.
Is that all?
No, they have for the first time introduced on the LIB market Buffalo Revive that comes with 4 different flavors: Cool Blue, Apple Kiwi, Full Red, and Fitness Orange. It's good for athlete and everyone. For wholesale and retail supply, call cell number 0770-617-575. Exeter's Best Price store on Gurley Street and the Old Road Smart Road Junction. We are your cheaper wholesale and retail store.
Exactly. When you want some more, I provide it. So we start to talk. Come on, so go in T20 for put it to Ichiki. Bila living sense in her.
It's about music. There are crowds in many places, in every community, you can see. So if you see crime, report it. Don't take law in your hand for the right authority. That it can't take your law in. Crime Stopper here for us, bringing safety to your door. Whether you rich or you poor, if you see a human talking, I mean you check. Do it for your safety. If you see it, don't keep it. You must call to report it. Crime Stopper, the people bringing safety to your door. Crime Stopper, stopping crime and making peace for them before. Crime Stopper, Liberia, from the center to interior. Crime Stopper, keeping us safe, they're stopping crimes for all of us. Crime Stopper, the people bringing safety to your door. Crime Stopper, stopping crime and making peace for them before. Crime Stopper, Liberia, from the center to interior. Crime Stopper, keeping us safe, they're stopping crimes for all of us.
Crime Stopper Liberia is your community crime fighting partner. Don't take the law into your own hands. Remember, if you see a crime,
report it.
This is a message from your own self, old man.
If you see a crime, report it. Some of us, when we see bad things happening, we can show our mouth. We say, oh, when we talk, the people will catch all, or somebody will do bad to us. No, don't think like that. When you see bad things happening, you don't have to, show all or show your face to say, I'm calling everybody attention to it. You need to get the police involved. The police will hide your identity. All right. I know a lot of us in the communities, we can see bad things happening, but we don't want to talk because we
are
afraid of people coming, after we shall have exposed them.
Right.
They will come out.
I had a conversation with my neighbor, and just what you're saying, she moved from a community where there were a lot of them around there. They steal with their parents in the house. They will leave, go and do the smoking and stuff. When they steal from you and you get mad, don't get the police involved. You get the police involved, the next thing, they start having that kind of problem with you. And it's risky to live in a community where you are surrounded by them.
Exactly.
And they don't like you.
Exactly.
Anything could happen to you. That's one of the reasons why more people can be afraid.
Exactly. That's one of the fear, people don't want to show, or talk about things in the community because they are afraid. The police may not be around and people will go and harm them. Some of the guys get a habit. They will throw a stone at your house and do all kinds of crazy things. But you don't have to show your identity. All right. There is a way you can get the police involved and expose the ugly things in your community.
Exactly.
All right. So says Crime Stopper Liberia. So Esther, the president of the Republic of Liberia, have come out to apologize on behalf of the people of Liberia. So I don't know how the president went about doing this.
Because my first question here is, does it mean there's going to be no more war crime court? Is that the meaning of it?
But if the president of Liberia is pushing for reconciliation, then what is the essence of the court?
Exactly.
Because the court is there for accountability, right?
Right.
People who committed, atrocities, people who committed economic crimes and all of that.
Exactly.
That's the essence of the court. So if the president is now pushing for reconciliation
instead
and
of
apologizing to Liberians for the death, the victim, most especially the victims of the war.
Exactly. What does it say to us when it tells us that he was after Prince Johnson? Because Prince Johnson is no more, and now you want to do reconciliation. Why did you not do this very apology thing, to reconcile the country before talking about war crimes code and war crimes code? Now he's dead, and you want to let it slide. There are still other people that are around here who committed atrocities in this country. They are free. Some of them are serving as lawmakers and all of that. So, I hope this is what the Liberian people want, because you were elected by the Liberian people. This is one of the promises you made to them, and you have to fulfill that promise.
And more besides, we hear from people are complaining about the reburial of the former presidents. Samuel Kanyando, he committed a lot of atrocities, the Lutheran massacre. The children that were dumped into the well, in mothers and babies were dumped into the well, and all of these things that happen, people are still crying for justice. So the president is coming out to say, look, we have to reconcile. So what was the essence of this war crime court thing in the first place?
Exactly. Was it a bluff?
So if for me, I would deduce that the war crimes code was to make Prince Johnson afraid. And as actually that was because of the code, Prince Johnson is under the ground today.
Exactly.
Because we all listen to Prince Johnson, he said Ellen Kim, she didn't do it. George Weah Kim, he didn't do it. The old man we voted for is not coming back.
The old man who he was chasing Weah up
exactly.
For.
So I just don't understand what kind of country is this and what kind of leader we have. Because if you want to reconcile the country, you have to get everybody involved.
Right.
It's not one person, because there are people who are out there who are dissatisfied.
Very much.
You know what the Doe family did to people, the Samuel Kanye Doe, the Crown people and the Nima people in this country.
Exactly.
Esther, I was around, I saw things happening. Look, when you live in certain communities, and when the Crown guys were going after people, there were Nima people living in the community, but I mean, they were afraid that people would show them.
Right. And Wendell, one of
So
the
that's how a
reasons-
lot of people die.
Exactly.
So you want to reconcile the country. You got to get everybody involved. You got to get all of the leaders involved, the leaders of this country. You know, you got to get the churches. You got to get the mosques. You got everybody. Let everybody agree that, look, we agree that let bygone be bygones. We know that our people didn't die in the war, but we forgave the people that killed them. You know, because some of these guys are still living and they still do. A man like Butt Naked is supposed to be talking here. This is a man who, in his revelation at the TRC, there were babies. He opened, drank their blood. That's how he used to go on the front, because when you drink the baby's blood, you go on the front, your enemy wouldn't see you.
and he's free to them making threatening
So
statements.
this
to other
man is
people.
coming back, threatening people that he would do X, Y, Z. So are these people ready for reconciliation?
That's the thing.
Are they ready for reconciliation?
And Wendell, the issue of this entire war crimes code, for me, I don't see it as just, going after people who have committed atrocities. I also see it as a deterrent that going forward, people will not engage into these kind of things. Today we have car loaders in the street. We have Zokos who are of age, who fought during the war, who were child soldiers. They did not have a choice. They were forced to do the things that they did. And we want to set a deterrent so that going forward, anybody ever think it in their head that they can bring war into this country because they don't like this thing or they don't like that thing, they will know that at the end of the day, you will face the penalty for whatever you do in this country.
Okay,
that's one of the reasons why I think it's important.
that's a good thing. I know it will serve as a deterrent.
Mhm.
But how do you go about reconciliation in the absence of rehabilitation?
Right.
All the guys that fought the war, some of them today, you see them, the Zogos, right?
Right.
So you prepare these people then to reintegrate them into society. You're talking about reconciliation. The first thing first, you need to mold their minds. You got to prepare the man. Let the man think. Move that thing about drug from the man head.
Mhm.
Get the man involved into doing something positive that will make him a better person tomorrow. But you leave all that wanted. The poor people that ran in the church to go seek refuge at the Lutheran church, where the soldiers went into and started just shooting people. They were just shooting.
We reduce
Just
the
shooting
population anyhow.
you kill people and then
Wow.
you turn around. Prince Johnson told us, say, the man's body was buried because he went to Amishi. To Amishi, you're embalmed though for 25 years. So when Sawyer King was 18 and said Doe body was eating, Prince Johnson said he went and he ordered his people to dig Doe body out. When they dug the body out, Doe body was still the same. All right. And then his deputy, who was Samuel Vanning, told him to rebury the body. He said, no, they're not going to rebury Doe again. What they would do, they would cremate the body, they would burn the body. And Prince Johnson told us that the body was burned and the dust, the ashes, whatever, were thrown into the St. Paul River.
Mhm.
So the body that they took to the coffin that we saw, they said burying the casket of the late President Doe, what was in it? So what are people telling us in this country? I don't think we are serious to reconcile this country because there are people who are still hurt. We need to get to these people. We need to talk to them, let them agree for the reconciliation. Then we can start to talk about reconciling the country.
That's
But
how
in
you
the
do it.
absence of that,
That's
man,
how
the
you
president
do
just jump on, just take a few people, you say you go apologize. What kind of president is this? What kind of president is this?
Exactly.
6-7 months now, you set up the court. The people said they didn't take pay yet. Mr. Babu, Joseph Babu, one of Liberia's finest. This man is complaining that the court is not being, given all of the the XYZ they need as a working tool. You got people that they're not taking pay. How do they go about? How do they go about? This is so sad for our country, man. Let's go and hear from our people, Esther. But I mean, you can't reconcile Liberia like this.
Yeah. And I understand this is our talking point window. I just want to inject something.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Concerning what Simeon, the political leader of is that MPC, the Movement for Progressive Change, what he said concerning a referendum for reducing the terms of elected official in this country window. I side with that so much because I think it's important that we look into that. People come, we elect them, and they make promises to the people that they know very well they will not be able to fulfill. They spend 6 years there, they steal enough, and they don't care whether we put them back or not. They get what they want to get out of it. I think it's important. We had this referendum thing in this country. People went around using party mandate, telling people, don't vote this, don't vote. Okay, vote this number, vote this number. My people, will we continue to have these people telling us what to do because they're able to buy you one bag of rice? At the end of the day, when whatever they're doing, they don't even care how you live. Your life has never changed since they became a representative of your district, since they became president. Nothing has happened about your life. Nothing has changed. But yet you listen to exactly what they say. I think it's about time we prioritize what the country interest is. Because when we had that referendum, those things were stipulated there. But because you refuse to use your head, read through it, know what is the right one, what is the wrong one, what you think is okay for this country, you just went ahead and listened to them in your various meetings you went to, and you went and voted those numbers they told you to vote.
You know,
which is really sad today.
Esther, you know why I don't want to give credence to the assertion made by the political leader of MPC, because you know why? He didn't push for it at the time. All right. Why Simeon Freeman is coming up to tell us today when this referendum thing, we talk about it, the reduction of turnout and all of that. We talk. He didn't say why now Simeon Freeman can't talk about, reducing elective terms and all of that.
I wish I was around there doing that.
Was that part of his manifesto when you were going around campaigning?
Drag him outside to ask him those questions.
Yes. Was that part of your manifesto going around the campaign period telling people that the referendum is a good thing? Let's look at it like you said. Let's see the good ones and take it and see the bad ones and vote it out.
You may gotta look for attention sooner.
So I don't understand. And the LSCC too coming up to tell us that they calling on the security authorities to make sure that certain officials who were caught in the web should not leave the country. How sure are we that these people whose names were mentioned are staying in the country?
Exactly.
How sure are we that these people are staying in the country? Some of these people have fly out of the country ever since. Then now the LSCC. Look, when you want to do something, you got to do. I don't understand the country. I really don't understand where Liberia is going. We got some of our friends there in this government. They are doing well. Look, in their areas, they are doing well. We always talk about them. I don't care how people feel about it. We are not enemy to any government. Our responsibility is to checkmate the government. We will not pray for this government to not succeed.
No.
We're not sit on, no, not on our platform yet.
No.
We're not sit here and say, no, we want bad things to happen, and all of that. We pray for good things. Even during President Weah's administration, there were times we sat on this radio and we criticized some of the wrong things that were happening.
Exactly. Right on this very program.
All right. So some of you who were that perception, that CDC radio station here, do you know what we're going through as an institution? No. The reason that was supporting the Weah's administration because we saw some good things happening. And we also talk about the bad ones. So in this other government too, we talk about it. And our friends who are doing well will sit here and rain down praises on them. Oh, yes. Oh, yes, there are friends we have in this government. We knew them before coming into government. So not because we did not vote for this government, so we're not, talk about the good things that happening in this government. Some of our friends are doing well at their areas where they are assigned. They're trying their best. But you know what? When the team is not performing, who gets fired? The coach, right?
Mhm.
So we always put the president feet to fire because these things that are happening. How would the president say he's calling for reconciliation, and those people who are hurt, you can't call them to talk to them before you go on and say you're apologizing? When bald niggas still going around making threats. Let's take a few calls with a few minutes we have, Esther. Then we
Yeah,
can go from there.
and while you're placing in your call, don't forget to keep your transactions coming in with the Win Liberia Cash giveaway. As soon as we're done taking the calls, I'm coming directly to you to do our draw and start calling our winners.
0776 104 104 086 500 104. The WhatsApp line is +231 86 500 104. And the female line is 0770297016. What do you make of President Bouaka? I apologize on behalf of the people of this country to those that lost their lives, the family of those, the victims of the war. Let's take this person as our very first caller.
Hello?
Good afternoon.
Yeah, Thomas Zola, call from Lukogo.
Let's hear you, Tom.
Yeah, I've been following the show for the past minutes. I've been listening to my radio. For reconciliation, cannot do only there, and those are living. Even say he give a statement which I will monitoring from our Facebook page, which it can measure Joia name, Ambassador Weah. Former President Weah. Measure former President Weah. Even said the former President Mana Eddie. You don't say Mana Eddie. Even said the you only say Mana President and Mana Bad President. And you can say you have reconciliation and those people. You don't belong with them, you will not discuss it.
Exactly.
And now you can't only say you have reconciliation, only bring their body to be buried in. They understand, they're part of the show. The president of the nation, he tries to bring that meaning that even that we the Liberians will not be able to pursue which is the area you want to find ourselves going.
Thank you.
Will not be good for us. Thank you. I'm monitoring the show.
Thank you. Thank you very much. You want me to talk to you like that, right? Is that how you want me to talk to you? See yourself there this afternoon. You calling with that kind of terrible feedback. I don't understand some of you. I just can't understand some of these people. Let's talk to this person. I don't know who is Man of Faith. Man of Faith, welcome to the show.
Thank you. My brother, something I just want to add in. I'm calling from the US.
All right, tell us your name, sir.
My name is Taifa S. Makundu.
Okay, go ahead.
The jobs in Liberia there, when it is given to Liberians who have their families in the country and they corrupt, you're able to catch them. But if you give me a job, I got my passport in my pocket as American, and then my family is not in the country, government renting building for me, a house for me, immediately anything trigger, I got my freedom in my hand. I go. So that one thing, the Liberia government cannot stop employing people from overseas. Let us bring investment into the country rather than to go create or to go get a job from over there. Why would I leave $2,000 job here for every 2 weeks and I go work for $1,500 for 1 month? Does that not tell you something, Fisher? So we need to stop that first before Liberia can come to some level of development. But other than that, Liberia will forever remain corrupt.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Let's take some calls. We'll go to the comments. We'll read some comments. But let's prioritize the calls for now. This person, hello?
Yeah.
Hello?
Yeah, hello. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Welcome to the show. What is your name and where you calling from?
Yeah, I'm Omar. I'm calling from Germany.
Go ahead. Let's hear you.
Okay, I got 2 points to stress on. the people that were actually in trying to put them in there, which is a lot of people or the plenty of the but let me say the tenor providing right, because at that time, our government was about, he actually decided to leave like everybody in the country. So he never put by into Japan for hiking and setting up the record. So the next time we come to power, he hoped to do that. And the second one, he has to do it born again. Some of us, our parents passed away to be born during this war or zero, our parents, we have our parents, but we see a born again, and taking the country, encouraging people, but what I have to say is that actually my argument I have as a board, I can't call. We don't say that we're not to level born again to get actually.
Okay. Thank you very much. Let's talk to you, this person. Let's bring another caller. Let's talk to this person. Esther will get to the comments shortly. We'll read out the comments for you. But for now, we are taking calls. So let's continue with the calls. Hello.
Good morning. How you doing?
Good afternoon. Welcome to the show. Tell us your name and state your name.
Okay, thank you. My name is PD. I'm calling from Raspberry Valley. My brother, let me tell you something. The Ome is not good at all. After Prince Johnson supported the Ome, we just use the word the entire United Party as a whole.
I want you to say, after Prince Johnson supported this president, he is the president of Liberia. Let's give him his respect.
All right. By the time, he was not president now. Okay, no problem. By the time,
but he president now. That is support that Prince Johnson gave him president. So that is.
Yeah. Okay, no problem. You see, all that war and economic crime for business, they were only doing it for Prince Johnson business. That's the thing that made the woman today he worry until the worry net carrying on the ground. Now he's showing support, carrying all kind of flamboyancy, wearing in the funeral service to Nima so that Nimalian will feed her. President Bouakai support their father. So on the way they can call Prince Johnson in Nima on fire. Okay? If you say Prince Johnson down now, every year about Walker go Benegi. No, they coming down on the carpet. Now the news I'm about to give you, my brother, get watch and see. CDC got to be careful. And in fact, the entire Liberia need to be careful. Come 29, the women will contest. And they will break the election because they know Liberia not in their favor again. And when they win our election, women will win itself for 2 years. It was targeting 24 years. Okay?
Okay.
Targeting 24 years. As soon as women win, you will serve for 2 years. Tell them what to say.
Okay. Thank you very much. We don't pray for that. We want our country to remain peaceful. We can talk the talk, but we shouldn't take guns. Real men don't take guns. Let's talk to you. Good afternoon. Masisi, welcome to the show. Let's hear your contribution. Oh, you say your new name is... Okay, Dr. Masisi, aka the female Yeke.
Hello, Doctor. They retire suffering men and an ambassador to the United Nations.
Thank you.
You can't put the first of you for yourself. And then breaking with it. You have to but we're going for war. You don't want war over your one. And you don't want to you are going to for it. And you go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Marcy. Esther, let's get a few comments and then we can maybe squeeze in some more calls. But let's take our comments and come back with some calls.
Right. In our comment session, we have Gatti Harris. Gatti Harris. Gatti says, I'm watching live from my Visual Media Incorporated office in Doe Community. We have Eric Doe says, good morning, Freedom FM family. My name is Eric Joe from the Muff Barley. We have Mariaman Jala says, good morning, guys. We have Juju one where he says, good morning. I'm following live from Johnsonville. Patrick Gita says, I'm watching live. And we have Pauline Botte Post says, good morning. I hope I got the name right. Good morning, my most favorite people. We have Philip Bien. He says, good morning, guys. I'm watching from New Matadi. We have Anisha's Junior Bar says, I'm following from Newtown. We have Duarte. She says, good morning, family. We have Moba Besa says, watching you from Philadelphia, USA. We have Emmanuel Yenson says, I am following from Yekepa, Nima County. We have Dauda Sharif. He says, why did not support that during the past? Well, I can read out loud. We have Rebecca Sayon says, good morning, Brother Wendell Neiman and my beautiful daughter Esther. We have Dauda again. And let's see whether this makes sense. Why he didn't support it during the past regime. That's good. And then we have Botte Pass against this because this first name is Pauline. Is that Pauline Botte Pass?
Pauline Botte Pass.
Did he consult the Liberian people or victims of the war before apologizing? And then he says, Butt Naked really needs to stop. His appearance is so painful. I'm telling you, he don't know that. Joel Johnson says, good morning. Okay, it's Joel Johnson, reporter from Voice of Yemen in Lamco, Yekepa, Nima County. We have T. Maxiga Berwule says, good afternoon, darling, and Mr. Nimland. I am watching from District 13. We have Peter Lynn Peter. She says, good afternoon, my Freedom FM family. Following from Congo Town, we have Tommy Johnson says, good afternoon, family. We have Darlington Quay says, what a mockery. Reconciliation? We know that's all of the comments we have for now.
Okay, we can squeeze in two more calls and then we come in pathways with you. Let's take this person. Hello? Okay, we lost that caller. We got time to take two more calls. And after that, we'll be going home. But Stan is telling us, Stan and partner are telling us that they're going to protest for 3 days. So that's from the 17th, the 18th, and the 19th. All right, so 3 days of protests coming up. Let's talk to you. Hello?
Yeah, good afternoon, brother.
Good afternoon. Welcome to the show.
Good afternoon to Esther Dagu.
Good afternoon.
The superstar. Is this the superstar Sabu Rasta?
Yeah, this is the superstar Sabu Rasta joining you from 0.4 to like 7 hours in Zimbabwe.
In Zimbabwe. Those days when it says Zimbabwe, people used to be scared. But this time, I don't know. Is it still fearful?
Well, no, we know there is God. And in life, God always has
I say there is not God. I say Zimbabwe is still fearful.
Now, what I'm telling you, with that transformation taking place every day in Zimbabwe.
I expect transformation to take place because Zimbabwe got people like you, So I expect transformation.
Exactly. And once Zimbabwe got Sabu Rasta, you always see transformation within Zimbabwe.
I will pass down there one day. You will see. I will pass that. If anybody attack me, I will tell you.
But let me assure you this for the record. But nobody, no flag, no stoke, any attempt to anything they want to trap. That is Babu Chibakula.
But Sagon men let me, Dwa let me, who can trap me? Dwa. I know. Go ahead. Let's hear your contribution.
I'm constrained to fall. But I just want to add a question, but I want to know what made those lives so important that we are ordinary Liberians. I want to know ordinary Liberians, so they are not even being ordinary.
This is the question that we all should be asking President Waka, because those people that were killed in the Lutheran massacre, it means that their families, they are not valued. That's what this president is telling us.
How will you rebury a man who caused a lot of injustice to our people, who today, who caused 250 Liberian lives have been taken away, and today you rebury him, and then you come back to we the ordinary Liberian telling us, oh, I'm sorry for the 250 Liberian lost. But we never got to go back for 10 years old. But it doesn't come away, the people do what they say. That they're going to put it for 2 years, especially they say they were bringing the job now. But thank you for the time. Thank you, brother. Thank you for having me.
Thank you, Sabu Rasta. Thank you. We just don't have time in our, but let's squeeze this person in. I hope this person will be brief. Hello? I'm fine. Your name and where you join us from? You see, if you play now, we'll cut you off if you give feedback.
My name is George Trenta.
Let's hear you, George. You have 30 seconds, no time.
Yeah, I just want to talk a little bit about Nathan Blight.
Go ahead.
Nathan Blight is someone who loves money. All I think you see him doing is because of money. During the election, Nathan Blight said former President we have frustrated his effort by allowing drugs to come into this country. But now there's drugs on the rampage. Nathan Blight must understand that God saved him for a reason. And I just want small thing at the finishing up. That's my warning and advice for him.
Okay.
Then you sit down and pay attention to God.
Thank you. Let him sit down and pay attention to God. On that note, this is how we go home today. But folks, 10 days to the Enough is Enough protest. And protest is good. Let me just say this before we go. Protest is good. But what makes it bad? When it's not, done orderly, meaning that when other people's rights are being infringed on. But protest is another form of calling the government feet or whosoever feet to fire. Take, for instance, you're working somewhere and you're being ill-treated. You can protest for your rights. So stand together with her allies are coming up with a 3 days protest beginning the 17th of this month.
Right.
All right. So those of us who need a hustle for money, we need a hustle for money to buy food and pour in our house. Because the man said 3 days. So I don't know whether they're going to decentralize the protests, but we need a hustle. Esther, we need a hustle. Right? We need money to get food in the house. I'm telling you, 3 days protest, we don't know how it's going to be, but we'll all pray that it's going to be peaceful to call this government feet to fire that, hey, enough is enough. Folks, we say a big thank you to all of you. Thanks to our sponsor, Crime Stopper Liberia, Exodus Best Price Store, and Mayuba & Sons. God's willing, the team will be here tomorrow with another fresh edition of the show. Until then, do have a pleasant Monday.